Welcome to Tzu Chi This Week. I'm Mary Lee. It's good to have you with us. Coming up, New Jersey Tzu Chi volunteers conduct a disaster assessment in Ewing to help local residents recover from a gas explosion. Taiwan TIMA doctors take the rare opportunity to pass on their medical skills to Jordan TIMA members. And we meet Indonesia Tzu Chi volunteer Tio Li Lie and her family of 18 who also walks the Tzu Chi path. In the United States, on March 4th, a gas explosion at New Jersey's Ewing Township injured 7 and killed 1 person, while affected at least 55 households. After the explosion, New Jersey Tzu Chi volunteers arrived at the explosion site to conduct a disaster assessment.
On March 4th, a massive gas explosion at Ewing Township of New Jersey killed 1 person, injured 7, and damaged at least 55 homes. According to the police, the workers of a private company struck the gas line, which triggered the gas explosion at a residential complex. Fortunately, the explosion occurred around 1 o'clock when not many people were at home. 24 hours following the gas explosion, as New Jersey Tzu Chi volunteers arrived to conduct a disaster assessment, many residents have been granted permission to go home and gather their belongings.
And we've been in the house. We were able to get some, essentials, medications, a few clothes, dog food, very important.
Taking pictures of what is left of their homes, many residents hope to use these photos for future reference.
I want to know whether or not this is going to be a short-term situation or a long-term situation. Short-term, I can deal with pretty easily. Long-term is going to take a lot of planning.
Seeing the devastation of the gas explosion, a local resident whose house only suffered minor damage decided to help his neighbors.
We plan on trying to help our neighbors as much as possible. We have some baby clothes that don't fit our daughter anymore, and try to help out.
To return the neighborhood to normal as quickly as possible, the cleaning crew work around the clock to clear away debris. A rate tag is put on houses that suffered extensive damage and no longer inhabitable.
As far as where the residents are, they're kind of scattered all over. They're with relatives or in a hotel. We're trying to get them all together and give them some clarity on as to what's moving forward.
After a thorough disaster assessment, in the days and weeks ahead, Tzu Chi volunteers promise to do what they can to help these survivors return their lives to normal.
In Jordan, as part of their continuous care for Syrian refugees, on February 25th, Taiwan's TIMA members went to a local nursing home to provide seniors with free dental checkups. During their stay in Jordan, Taiwan TIMA doctors also seized the opportunity to pass on their medical skills to Jordan TIMA members. At 8 in the morning, residents of a local nursing home in Jordan are waiting in the lobby to welcome Tzu Chi volunteers and TIMA members from Taiwan. Today is a special day for them as they will be receiving free dental checkups.
Over the past few years, doctors of the Jordan University have come to check on our residents' health on a regular basis. However, what we need most is dental care. When our residents learned Taiwan's doctors will be offering dental care, they were very happy. As Tzu Chi volunteers arrive, they thoughtfully tend to the seniors like their own family. The kind gestures touch many, including local Tzu Chi volunteer Tzu Ai.
The group of sisters who came from Taiwan, bringing their love, paying their money, their time, giving us and sharing with us their love, their experience, this is what impressed me more.
In fact, Taiwan's Northern District TIMA members are here to not only pass on their knowledge of the mobile dental clinic, but also learn the humanitarian spirit from their counterparts.
It's a great experience to work with the doctors in Jordan. They are really compassionate as they are willing to dedicate themselves to the needy in local areas. It motivates us to follow suit as we also did our best to help the needy patients during our days here.
This is the first time that Jordan TIMA members have had a chance to learn from their fellow volunteers from Taiwan. Through exchanges, they experience firsthand the compassion and dedication of Taiwan's TIMA members. They were very touched and they wanted to be part of it.
It's the first time for me, and I'm a lucky man to join such people in such organization. They came here to help our people, and it's for us supposed to help you work together for the best of our people here. So I'm very proud and very happy to join you on this mission.
Working as one, Taiwan's TIMA doctors and their fellow colleagues in Jordan successfully finished several free clinics, offering Syrian refugees much-needed help through their current hardship. During Taiwan's Northern District TIMA members' short trip to Jordan, many free clinics were held for those suffering aches and pains. And the last free clinic of the trip was held in Tzu Chi volunteer Chen Qiuhua's home, during which TIMA volunteers provided medical care to nearly 40 patients.
As TIMA members are busy setting up the venue of the clinic, Tzu Chi volunteers outside are receiving Syrian refugees and settling them in the waiting area. This last free clinic is being held in the home of Tzu Chi volunteer Chen Qiuhua. Thanks to Tzu Chi, Amir Dalati finally had a chance to receive dental treatment.
I'm grateful for Tzu Chi's assistance. Last month, I didn't get a Tzu Chi voucher for aid supplies. However, when I come here today, they even treated my dental problem for free. I am really thankful.
Countless Syrians have fled to Jordan for refuge. Among them is 16-year-old Raid Abdurrahman, whose leg was severely wounded by a gunshot. Today, TIMA doctor Ye Tianhao is here to tend to his wounds.
We have many poor people here and many refugees. They cannot take care of their own selves. So somebody must take care of them. We here in Tzu Chi will take care of them in continuous, inshallah, okay?
Responding to Tzu Chi's medical missions in Jordan, Iraqi Dr. Zaid and his fellow colleagues also joined the volunteers' ranks. Dr. Zaid said he wants to introduce Tzu Chi's selfless love to more people.
This organization is not recognized well as much as the size of this work, so it needs to be more advertised and more people should know, so I can generalize the idea about helping other people.
As the medical team is busy providing medical services, Tzu Chi volunteers meanwhile look after patients sitting in the waiting area.
Some of us were cooking, some of us were cleaning, the other one was looking after the people, the other was fixing the teeth. Everything with smiley faces. This is the love, this is the real love that Master Chen Yang gave the members to transfer to the whole people.
During these most difficult times, thanks to the volunteers' company and assistance, these victims of war have found themselves bathed in love and attention.
In 2003, the ancient city of Bam, Iran was struck by a 6.6 magnitude earthquake, which took the lives of more than 40,000 people. To help, 72 hours after the earthquake, Tzu Chi volunteers from Taiwan, Jordan, and Turkey flew to Iran to conduct disaster assessments and free clinics. In our next report, let's take a look back at how the volunteers overcame all obstacles to help the survivors.
In 2003, a powerful earthquake struck the ancient city of Bam, Iran, leaving more than 40,000 people dead. 72 hours after the devastating tremor, a total of 11 Tzu Chi volunteers from Taiwan, Jordan, and Turkey arrived in the hard-hit Baravad, a city in central Bam. Other than carrying the volunteers to the disaster area and transporting relief items, the volunteers' bus was also used as a mobile free clinic.
At first, we didn't plan on renting a big bus, but we didn't have a choice. In the end, renting such a big bus turned out to be a good decision because most of the local residents are from a Muslim background. Muslim women need more privacy. That's why the bus was a great place for Tzu Chi volunteers to hold free clinics.
As roads were cut off due to the quake, the mobile free clinic was unable to reach all the quake survivors. Thankfully, an ambulance driver decided to drive the volunteers to a refugee camp, which was also in need of the volunteers' help. While serving the quake survivors, volunteers also had to look after their own safety, as some residents in desperate need of aid supplies attacked the bus. To further help those in greater need, volunteers set up 3 tents at the temporary command center. Despite the extreme cold weather and hardship, volunteers never complain, but focus on their goal of helping quake survivors return their lives to normal as soon as possible.
In China, Tzu Chi volunteers in Fujian's Quanzhou have had great success in spreading environmental concepts. Last year, Quanzhou's recycling volunteers managed to collect over 1,100 tons of recyclables. Meanwhile, in Shanghai and Dongguan, community members also got a hands-on experience in recycling work. On this rainy day, Tzu Chi volunteers in Shanghai expected the turnout would be light. However, it was quite the opposite. A few new faces also joined them today. One business brought the recyclables they collected after their move to the recycling point. Since last year, Tzu Chi volunteers have visited this commercial building twice a month to collect recyclables. Moving to Guangdong's Dongguan, volunteers are helping to clean up the planet one pile at a time. Although unfamiliar with sorting, even children pitch in to help. Getting hands-on experience, these young citizens learn to separate items down to the smallest category.
I stacked together the bubble wrap and newspapers for recycling.
By coming here, I've realized the importance of environmental protection. If everyone just picked up one piece of garbage on the street and threw it in the trash, then our city could be more beautiful.
A field trip to the Recycling Education Center is a chance for parents and students to get hands-on experience in environmental protection. In Fujian's Quanzhou, environmental protection ideals are practiced not only in remote villages, but in cities as well. Among those sorting recyclables is 93-year-old Su Ban.
There are many seniors here to keep me company.
Those over 60 set an example for others to follow, as the more they do, the healthier their bodies become. This couple collects recyclables together, united in their efforts as well as their hearts.
Every day he rides his bike to pick up recyclables. I also collect as well.
At my age, I feel happy to be able to still join this big family.
This is the 7th year Tzu Chi volunteers in Quanzhou have promoted their message of environmental protection. Now with 54 recycling points and thousands of recycling volunteers, last year, Quanzhou volunteers collected 1,100 tons of recyclables.
When I sort recyclables, my worries disappear, and I am filled with Dharma joy.
Thanks to the recycling volunteers young and old, our planet's resources are saved for another day. In Taiwan's New Taipei City, a monthly gathering was held at the Wugu recycling station, where volunteers gathered to thank one another for their dedication over the past year. Then, in China, Tianjin Tzu Chi volunteers joined the Baodi Temple Fair to introduce environmental concepts to fairgoers.
The Baodi's Temple Fair in China's Tianjin is an event that has more than 1,000 years of history. However, over the years, the Temple Fair has been forgotten by many. Luckily, the locals have worked to bring the tradition back, and this year the fair drew nearly 100,000 people. So many people, however, meant an enormous amount of garbage. Thankfully, a group of volunteers were on site to pick up litters carelessly thrown away by fairgoers.
I realized that picking up litter is not an easy job. Before, I used to litter carelessly, and my action probably caused a lot of trouble for the recycling volunteers. In the future, I will not litter carelessly and will make sure to put my garbage in the trash can.
In the future, I hope we can help our planet return to its original color which was filled with blue and green.
To encourage more people to join the volunteers' ranks, this year the organizer of the fair made a place for Tzu Chi volunteers so that they could spread the NGO's environmental messages to visitors.
I hope more people can walk the Tzu Chi path and practice recycling. Together we can transform Baodi district into a place that is clean and tidy.
Knowing the importance of safeguarding our Mother Earth, despite the cold weather, volunteers seize every opportunity to encourage even goers to practice recycling. Meanwhile, in Taiwan, recycling volunteers at the Tzu Chi Ugu recycling station in New Taipei City are holding another monthly gathering. Following along with the volunteer sign language is 85-year-old Tzu Chi volunteer Ling Chen Shouqing.
The volunteers always looked out for my safety and make sure I don't fall. I am very grateful. I always felt closer to the volunteers than my own son.
During the event, a choir made up by senior volunteers sings to entertain the attendees.
It feels different if you are expecting to be paid or receive something in return. You will find that you are extremely happy when you can give without asking for anything in return.
In the days and weeks ahead, these recycling volunteers promise to continue safeguarding our Mother Earth.
In our next report, we meet Indonesia Tzu Chi volunteer Tio Li Lie, who decided to join the Buddhist NGO after watching Dia TV 12 years ago. Thanks to her efforts of encouraging others to join her, 18 members of her family are now walking the Tzu Chi path together.
This is Tzu Chi volunteer Tio Li Lie's family. It's set for her and everyone has a volunteer uniform. 12 years ago, while staying at a hospital, Tio Li Lie came across the Dia TV and soon after vowed to join the Buddhist NGO. Her first Tzu Chi activity was helping out at a free clinic.
The first Tzu Chi event I volunteered at was at a free clinic held in Surabaya. The experience taught me to be grateful and cherish my blessings.
Inspired by Tzu Chi's philosophy, since then, Tio Li Lie has encouraged her family members to walk the Tzu Chi path.
After joining Tzu Chi's rice distributions, I've realized that I'm much better off than a lot of people. I need to be grateful. My aunt kept telling me about the Tzu Chi Foundation, and I felt awkward at first. Later on, I decided to Google the organization to learn more about it. At first, I felt it wasn't necessary to join Tzu Chi because I was so young. I told myself, as long as I don't do bad deeds, it's okay. However, after watching Dia TV, I realized that I was wrong.
Thanks to Tio Li Lie, Tzu Chi has become an important part of this family. To show his support, Tio's brother-in-law even provided a space for volunteers to practice recycling.
If we didn't have a place to store recyclables, I think it would be hard for us to spread Tzu Chi in Kisarong.
Following Tio's footsteps, Tio's sister-in-law and her husband decided to become media volunteers, documenting Tzu Chi's missions in Medan.
We have become the master's ears and eyes. I am extremely moved.
Despite his old age, Tio's uncle is very supportive of Tzu Chi's work.
As long as I have the strength, I will continue to do Tzu Chi.
Although suffering from a foot injury, Tio's aunt promises to join the volunteers' ranks as soon as she recovers.
When I recover from my foot injury, I want to practice recycling and volunteer.
With determination, nothing is impossible. And in the future, this family of 19 promises to walk on the Bodhisattva path hand in hand.
Overseas Tzu Chi volunteers are an important part of spreading Tzu Chi's ideals to non-Chinese speakers. In New Jersey of the United States, a group of Tzu Chi Academy students and Tzu Chi volunteers visited a nursing home, while Tzu Chi volunteers in Auckland, New Zealand, helped introduce the Buddhist NGO's missions to Hindus living down under. Here at the Tzu Chi New Zealand chapter, over 20 Hindu seniors are on a visit to gain a better understanding of Tzu Chi's missions and ideals. Strolling through different parts of the office and browsing Tzu Chi's environmental products and publications, the seniors, averaging 80 years of age, come to realize that the world is full of stories they have yet to hear. South Auckland's Community Development Senior Facilitator, Nimi Bidi, chose to visit Tzu Chi as she feels it's a place where people don't discriminate against race and lessons on environmental protection can be learned.
And the second thing which I really like others to get the motivation and get motivated and rejuvenated is the environmental sustainability that Tzu Chi Foundation is working towards via the recycling, the resource recovery center here.
At the end of their visit, the seniors receive a bamboo coin bank so that they too can start contributing their love. Meanwhile, students of the Tzu Chi Academy in New Jersey are helping residents of the JFK Hardwick Nursing and Rehabilitation Center find a bit of warmth among the biting cold of this winter. The students showcase their talents in playing various musical instruments or performing traditional Chinese dance routines, wowing their nursing home residents.
It's been great and very comforting. I feel the seniors have been happy to see us.
Hearing familiar songs, residents wave their arms in time with the melody. Despite the wind and snow outside, it seems that Tzu Chi volunteers have succeeded in warming the hearts of every resident here today. Every year, the Tzu Chi Kindergarten in Indonesia's Kaput village holds its annual Humanitarian Week, during which Tzu Chi's humanitarianism, charitable, and environmental ideals are passed on to the children through interactive games and activities. Waiting in a neat line, these students of the Tzu Chi Kindergarten in Kaput village are about to begin a tour of their local Jingsi Hall. During their Humanitarian Week visit, the students are given an introduction to Tzu Chi's history, as well as its signature bamboo banks.
I'm counting coins. This money is for those in need.
We will take the accumulated money and donate it to those in need, such as the victims of earthquakes or those affected by the recent volcanic eruptions.
The children embrace the lessons on charity, humanitarianism, and of course, environmentalism. Teachers at the kindergarten came up with some simple games to teach students how to actualize recycling concepts in their lives.
The craft materials we used are recycled paper and newspapers. Then the children painted them.
With the activities over, the children next take time to serve their family members a cup of tea.
I gave a massage and brought them food and drinks.
Teaching their students how to be more caring, compassionate, and environmentally conscious is the goal of the school's annual Humanitarian Week, and it looks like this year's event was another rousing success. At the end of the show, we go to Singapore, where TIMA and Minds held their annual dental-free clinic. Minds is a charity organization that helps those with mental disabilities in the country. We will leave you with these images. Thank you for watching. See you next week.